Hi, everyone. Welcome. Just going to let you all trickle in here. Thank you for joining. My name is Jessica Stern. I am the Assistant Dean of Graduate Admission at the School of Engineering at the University of Southern California. We're so excited to have you joining us today. And first and foremost, want to congratulate you on your admission to the USC Viterbi School of Engineering. This is a very big achievement. We know you've worked really hard to get to this stage. So we do want to recognize that and celebrate you, and also provide you with some helpful information and resources and support as you make this big decision about your next steps for advancing your education. So welcome to the Trojan family. And just first, for some background, I know as you are considering USC, you are likely also considering a lot of other great institutions or options for your next step. So to kind of summarize the main factors that you're probably considering right now, one is how will this influence your next steps for your career? How will this program allow me to get closer to my dream job? We'll share with you some resources available to USC to help support your professional development, to help you secure internships and jobs, and all the ways that our community supports that. Another consideration, of course, is location. As you consider where you're going to be for the next 2+ years, it's important to think about how that location will contribute to your personal well-being, to your professional growth. And Los Angeles happens to be an incredibly vibrant and dynamic city to both study and work. And we'll highlight some more about that in just a bit. You also are likely thinking about the community of your peers, of faculty, of people you will be interacting with and learning from, as well as an alumni network. I don't know if you are joining us probably from all over, from the US, internationally. Here at USC, our alumni network is incredibly strong, and we take it very seriously. We have 100K USC plus USC alumni all over the world, and the bond that we share, we call it global and lifelong. And we know that once you become a Trojan, it's something that you carry on for life, and you will find that it has a lot of wonderful implications for your future, your mentorship opportunities, ways to connect. And so we're excited to have you join our Trojan family. Lastly, as you're choosing a graduate program, if you're interested in research, you may be thinking about ways as a master's student you can engage with research. You will get to connect directly with our department chair today, as well as some current students, to learn about those opportunities specifically within the Industrial and Systems Engineering department. But please don't hesitate to ask any questions regarding research and any of these other factors that we know are top of mind for you right now. A little bit more about the School of Engineering and specifically University of Southern California. So we are a top tier private research university. The university invests, the Viterbi itself accounts for more than half of the research that's being contributed at USC, with more than $179 million in annual research expenditures. So if you want to learn from people who are truly advancing your academic area, this is an incredibly exciting place to be. We are consistently ranked among the top graduate engineering programs, and ISC in particular is very, very strong. I believe it's top 10, and my colleagues can correct me on that. And I already mentioned how strong our Trojan network is. Viterbi itself also has a very strong alumni network that's very connected. And you will find ways to connect with some of our alumni as well through various career events that we have on campus, mixers, and I'm sure our current students can share anecdotes as well of ways that they've gotten in touch with alums. We do have a very diverse community. We have applicants from over 113 countries, so you will get to encounter perspectives from all over the world. And I have a breakdown here of how many of our students are pursuing their master's programs on campus versus online. We do have many working professionals who are choosing to complete the exact same master's program through our Dennett Viterbi platform, which is a top-ranked graduate degree online program. And it's just something to consider if you're looking for more of a flexible route. If you kind of fit that bill, you can absolutely, depending on which master's program you've been admitted to, complete the program online if you choose. But as you can see, 83% of our students do complete on campus. In terms of location, Los Angeles is obviously a hub for many things, for international business, for entertainment, for the arts. It's also a global hub for innovation. And where that's really, really showcased is in an area, for those of you who are not so familiar with Los Angeles, called Silicon Beach, which is about 30 minutes from where USC is. So we're in downtown Los Angeles. I'm currently in our downtown LA tower. I'm not on campus at the moment, but Silicon Beach actually houses more than 500 startups. It is a startup ecosystem, and also so many of the tech companies that are headquartered in Silicon Valley have offices there, as well as major companies that are headquartered right there in Los Angeles. So this obviously has incredible implications for you in terms of work opportunities, and just highlights what a bustling place Los Angeles is for people interested in tech and engineering. We do also house two major research centers in Silicon Beach, the Information Sciences Institute and the ICT Institute for Creative Technologies. So this is just one aspect of LA, but LA is one of the cities that hires more engineering graduates than any other in the US. There are plentiful opportunities for you if your intention in pursuing graduate school is ultimately to advance your career. I already mentioned a bit about our Viterbi Career Connections office. This is the primary team within the Viterbi School that supports specifically our engineering students in job opportunities, in professional development. They offer so many workshops and advising to help make sure you're a standout competitive candidate when you are ready to find internships and jobs. You can see here 120 plus career activities that they organized in this last academic year alone. The two major ones that the one major one that we offer twice a year is the Career and Internship Expo, where we have more than 100 employers come to recruit specifically our students. But as you can see, we have more than 120, so 118 plus others for you to engage and interact with recruiters, with alumni, with companies to hear about what's trending, what they're looking for, what vacancies are available, information sessions, interview prep. There's so many ways that you can, while at the same time that you're studying, that you can also focus on preparing yourself for your next job. We also list a lot of the data about our graduates on our website. So I do want to point out, if you want to see where specifically graduates of the program you've been admitted to have gone on to, so let's say engineering management, you can click the Career Outcomes tab on the Engineering Management Program page, and you'll see our most recent data. This is from the 2025 First Destination Survey. It's worth noting that not everybody completes the survey, so we're only sharing the data based on those who have, but I think it can be really, really helpful to understand their first position after they graduate from the program, as well as the companies that they're working at. And you'll hear a little bit more about the industry connections within the department itself. In terms of next steps, I do want to encourage you to go on our admitted student page. The QR code is here, and you'll see a host of other activities. Thank you for joining this one. If you happen to be in select cities across the US and Canada or India or China, we will have in-person admitted student receptions as well. So you can find information about that on that webpage. We'll also be sending emails out. You can also take a virtual tour of the university campus. You can chat with one of our current students. We do have one of our student ambassadors here with us today, Erin, and another student who'll be joining who is a great representative of the engineering management program. She's a president of the engineering management student organization. But we do have a website where you can chat directly even after today's session to ask any questions on your mind and get the student perspective. And just take the time to understand more about what it means to be a Trojan. We're just scratching the surface here, but if there's any way that we can support you, anything you want to know more about, please know that we're here to help you. So very important, once you feel ready to accept your admission offer from USC, this is the main next step you have to do is to log into your UYOUSC portal to submit your statement of intent. That will make it official that you are accepting your USC offer, and you have to submit a non-refundable $1,000 commitment deposit with that. That deposit does go toward your tuition, but it is a necessary final step for you to confirm your enrollment at USC. For those of you who are international students, you must submit your statement of intent and deposit in order to submit your financial documents and request your I-20. So as you can imagine, for those of you who are international students, we highly encourage you to start the visa process as soon as possible. And the first way to do that is to request your I-20. And to request your I-20, you'll need to submit your statement of intent. The deadline to submit your statement of intent for most students is April 15th, but please double check the specific deadline in your portal just to be sure. Once you submit your statement of intent, it will unlock your ability to do a lot of things. So I mentioned about the I-20. You'll also start receiving really important information about your arrival in Los Angeles and at USC, including orientation information and pre-orientation resources. You'll also be invited to additional department webinars where you'll get connected again with your department, your advisor, but get more specifics about course registration and other important next steps as a USC student. And of course, if you will be needing housing in Los Angeles, once you are actually certified and you commit to USC, you can actually secure housing through USC Housing and start exploring all your options in the area. If you have specific questions about any of this, we will have a Q&A portion at the end and we'll definitely address it. So at this time, I'm going to quickly tell you who else is here with me, and then we will proceed. So we have Professor Maja Dasuki, who is the department chair and professor of the Daniel J. Epstein Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering, here with us. Thank you for joining. I'm just going to quickly introduce everyone, and I'll come right back to you, Dr. Dasuki. We have David Ho, who is the director of student services. He's going to be your one of the advisors in the department, I think specifically for analytics. Is that right, David? Okay, fabulous. And we'll give you more insights about the rest of the team. And we have two current students here as well. We have Deepti, who is a master student in engineering management. Hi, thank you for joining, as well as Erin, who is a student in MS Analytics. And both are very involved and such wonderful ambassadors to have here to share more about the program. So thank you all for joining. That concludes my portion. I will pass it on to you, Dr. Dasuki, to talk more about the department.
Well, I want to first say big congratulations to everyone for being admitted. It's a competitive process, and you've been admitted to what we think is an exciting department, and hopefully we'll get that sense after meeting the students, the advisor, and some of the notes I have here. So if you can go ahead to you could skip to no, there, the department overview. So actually, when you saw the title of the department, it's called the Daniel J. Epstein Department of Industrial Engineering. We were the first named department at the Viterbi School, and the second named department, IC department in the nation. And so why is the naming important? And because the naming basically creates an endowment for a department, and from that endowment it generates income each year. And so you heard Jessica talk about research opportunities, student clubs, events that we hold, And most of the funding that supports that comes from the endowment. So the endowment gives the department resources that other departments that aren't named don't have, and we use it really mostly for student activities, events, and for supporting master's and undergraduate research projects. So that's why that we make a big issue about it, because it provides us resources to really enhance the student experience. In terms of the size of the department, we have 22 tenure track faculty. Tenure track faculty do both teaching and research, and so they cover the entire gambit of the academic process. We also have 10 full-time teaching faculty members, and they specifically teach in either, let's say, we have Aaron here, who's in the analytics program, or they'll be focused on teaching in the engineering management program. So these are specialized instructors who have, most of them have industry experience in the areas that they teach, and bring the practice side of the to the teaching platform. We also have research faculty who do research, but then some of these research faculty also are at the state of the art of the research, who also occasionally teach for us. For example, the person who teaches the the applied generative AI course, who does a lot of research in that area, um, is a research faculty member. So then we also have other faculty who have appointments in other units in the school, who also teach for us and also help with the research in our department. Next slide, please. So just to give you a sense of the size of the department, we have a very large master's program of 600 students, encompassing 6 different mainly master's degrees. And we have 200 undergraduate students. And then we also have a very large PhD in terms of size of 60 PhD students. And here's the point I really want to make and stretch. Both our undergraduate and master's program really covers, if you're not familiar with the ISE systems engineering field, it's a very broad field. Uh, it covers, I would say, the qualitative side and the applied side, and a very mathematical um, side. So you have this completely spectrum, and the qualitative side, you have the human factors, engineering management. And so both our undergraduate and master's programs covers this wide spectrum. The engineering management, human factors side was the qualitative side. Then you have, let's say, the applied supply chain side, and that comes in. You, if you're interested in that, you're interested in maybe the ISE master's degree, and then you have the health systems management degree, which is focusing on the applied side in the healthcare area. And then if you're really interested in the mathematical side, then you have the analytics and OR degree. Those are much more on the, I would say, on the mathematical side of the spectrum. So we have this complete spectrum between the qualitative to the applied to the mathematical. And I'll talk about each one of these in some depth and give you a sense of this. The nice thing is, if you're admitted to one of these programs, let's say, for example, we have the OR degree and analytics degree. Suppose you apply to the LA, been admitted to the analytics degree, and you find out that your interest is more in the OR one. Switching between them is not difficult. We typically allow our students to move from one degree to another, and we had that choice within our department. So both our undergraduate and our master's degree is really broad. It covers all the spectrum, and we have enough faculty to make sure that each one of these programs is covered in depth and specialization that's needed. And then our PhD program is much more focused on, I would say, I would say, the quantitative mathematical side. So we have a number of resource centers in our department that really our faculty all hold leading positions in, in the center, either as the director of the center or a deputy director of the center, and so on. The Metrans Center is the one I'm heavily involved in, and it's basically a transportation center that focuses both on goods movement and the mobility of people in urban areas. And we have a lot of research projects funded by the federal government, state government, and nonprofit organizations and companies that fund that center. We also have a center that focuses on the assessment of risk and economic analysis. That it's no longer focused on just terrorism. It's both on it's both. We should probably change the name of that. It's both analysis of threats and emergencies. So now we expand the center to look at not only an emergency associated to terrorism, but emergency associated to natural disasters. We also have a large gift from the Meta Corporation for research and education in AI and learning. We also have a center from the Capital One Corporation for responsible AI and decision making. All our faculty are involved in that. Faculty are not all faculty involved, all faculty are involved in leading one of these centers. And then we have a Center for Advanced Manufacturing and a Center for AI in Society. Next. So here are this is the more important part, the different degrees programs. And all of them are, all our degree programs have an online component to it. So just a quick overview of these programs. So our largest, by far, is our MS in Analytics program. And that's one of the quantitative degrees. And then the other one that's quantitative is the MS in Operations Research Engineering. So the MS in Analytics degree is a much more core program that's focused on using data to make decisions. So the program focuses a lot on decision analysis using data, predictive analytics, descriptive analytics. The predictive analytics is using maybe some kind of predictive model, machine learning, or some forecasting model to make prediction. Then you use descriptive analytics. And the question is then, what do you use using those predictions? How can I then make decisions to maybe optimize my system? So that's where the analytics component comes from. So when you look at analytics, really there's a prediction component to it, and there's also a decision-making component to it. In the master's OR degree, it's a much more modeling. So analytics is much more data-driven. OR is much more of a modeling algorithmic degree. So depending on which side of the cone you are, where the reason the analytics degree is much more popular today is because we're in a data-driven world. Most decisions now are driven by data-based, not databases, but data-based model. And so those are really the two most quantitative degrees that we offer. And our second most popular degree is the MS in Engineering Management. And basically, that degree is not the differentiation between this degree and, let's say, an MBA. This is mostly focusing on the management part. And in the MBA, there's other aspects. There's marketing and organizational behavior that aren't really covered so much in the engineering management degree. In the engineering management degree, what you're doing is you're going to be trained to be a manager of an engineering organization. Another qualitative degree that's very popular is the MS in Product Development Engineering. And that degree is really very much focused on, I would say, product managers. A lot of students go become product managers eventually, and also the engineering management degree. So the difference really between the engineering management degree and the product development degree is one is much more design focused, and the other one in the engineering management is much more management focused and operations focused. And then the ISE degree is basically your undergraduate ISE degree, but at a more advanced level. And I would say in that degree, most of those students actually end up in some kind of supply chain logistics job. And so that's why that degree is much more focused on that. The MS in Health System Management degree, it's very similar to your I degree, but all the courses are taught in context of the healthcare field. So it's basically taking the ISE type courses and making them using the healthcare as the applications for that. And almost all the students who graduate from this degree, the market for engineers in the healthcare system is very strong. And then we have a certificate option for the health system degree. And then we also have a number of dual degrees, one with engineering management, with aerospace, mechanical, and electrical engineering. Next slide, please. So in terms of the MSc degree, I'm not going to get into, I don't have the really time to get very specific on them, but I just kind of give you kind of the broad idea. So all our degrees are 28 units Each course is 4 units, so do the math. That's 7 required courses. Well, not seven courses per program. So this is the program that's currently on the books. We're making some minor tweaks to it, and I'll talk a little bit about the current requirements. But I'll talk about the minor tweaks, why we think the minor tweaks is even a stronger program. And once the minor tweaks get adopted, you will have the choice to either use this. Since this is what's on the book when you apply, you'll have a choice to either follow this one or the minor tweaked ones. But in a sense, the idea is still the same. In this degree program, you have 3 required courses. The 3 required courses are, again, I would say the 3 fundamentals of analytics: prediction, decision making, and in this case, decision making using optimization, and then data management. And that's fundamentals of data engineering. So those are really the 3 fundamentals of analytics. So those are the 3 required courses. And then we break up our program into 2 groups. And you have 1 requirement in each of these groups. And then you take a separate course, two units of free electives. And that could be more courses in the groups, or other approved courses that that our advisor approved. And if it makes sense for you to take it, it usually gets approved. So it's not very restrictive. Just show that it could help your career. So what are these different groups? So if you look at somewhat like the simulation courses, could be both a group A and a group B. And we've significantly expanded this. For example, in the group B, we have a time series course that's been formally created. And the first time it was offered, it was very popular. We also created a course on applied generative AI. That's also very popular. And we're continuously expanding these courses. And one of the things that we're finding out is having more courses on like tools like Tableau and business intelligence that make use of analysis techniques is what industry wants. And so we're offering more and more of those courses. And what we're really keen also is to developing project courses that allows you to apply the techniques you use in these courses, like text analytics, simulation, in these techniques. In fact, the 533 course integrates the 2 topics of prediction and decision making into one class and makes you solve real world problems in context of that. So this covers basically the MS Analytics degree. Can we please proceed to the next one? So the engineering management degree is again being changed, tweaked a little bit, and one of the reasons we're tweaking it is that a lot of students in this degree want to go into project management, so we're adding more project management requirements into this program. But basically, again, what are the fundamentals of this degree? One fundamental is you need to be able to be good in project management. You need to be able to learn how to lead teams. That's the 3rd requirement there. And then again, you need to be able to make financial decisions, justify it. Any project you're going to manage and lead, you got to economically justify it. It's not going to be funded unless it's economically viable for the company. So we have required courses in those areas. And of course, the statistics component is, if you don't have any statistics background, we're going to require you to take statistics. If you have a statistics background, you'll talk to the advising team and you might be able to waive that requirement. So that's the key, because you cannot be a part of if you don't have some kind of background in statistics. And then you'll have to take a course in some kind of technology. The world is changing. Understanding technology and its integration into workplace is very important. And we have a number of courses that are offered in that area, and you only have to choose one. And then you have to take 2 courses in a specialization. One is further management courses. One is operations. A lot of students are interested in supply chain industry, so maybe they'll take some supply chain course. In fact, they may go and take a supply chain certificate offered by Marshall, and then take the 2 operations courses here, and then accommodate some of the changes here. Because I think the certificate there is 12 units. And then you could take one in analytics. Some of the engineering management students are interested in learning more about analytics, and they'll take the electives there and so on. Or maybe since we have so many technology courses, students like to take it, and then they'll maybe take some more of the technology courses and specialize in that area. And next program, please. So as I said, ISE is basically the ISE undergraduate degree at a higher level. And since a lot of the students go into the supply chain field, we have two courses that basically help them with that. We have a course on logistics and inventory systems, and a course on scheduling, and a course on engineering management. And those are really the required courses. Then you take one course, and as I said, there's a in qualitative side and a quantitative side. The IC degree is kind of like an applied area, but it uses both. So you will require to take at least one of the quantitative courses, one of the engineering management qualitative courses, and then one more of the applied courses like equality and operations. And then, of course, you'll be given one free elective. So that's kind of the idea behind this degree. And then the next one, please. So the health systems degree, as you notice, all the courses have health in them because it's basically very similar to the IE degree, but it's very domain specific to the health. So you'll take a health care operations, quality in healthcare, and the practicum course is actually a hands-on real project that you'll be working in the healthcare setting that's given to them, and it's a semester-long project. And then you'll have some electives to take. There's a special course. There's actually health analytics is one of the Group B electives in the analytics course, but it's an analytics course that's focused strictly using data to improve healthcare. And then you have some other health systems electives that are more of a qualitative and organizational based courses. So it's a joint program with the Keck School, and it's a really a degree that's created to meet a need in the industry. The healthcare industry have big need for the students in this area, and a number of these graduates have already been promoted, and they're running the operations of the hospital or healthcare unit that they're working at. Next one, please. So this, I would say, is the most technical degree, the operations research degree. And here we have a lot of different required courses. One on linear optimization, one on stochastics, simulation. 583 is the SAP course, and that's kind of more of our information course. And then the networks course. So this is the one that's really going to strengthen your modeling skill set. If you're interested in modeling and algorithms, this is the program for it. And then you have two types of electives. One is from a pick list, and one is a completely free elective. Next one, please. And then this is the product development engineering. This is the other, I would say, qualitative degree. There's two specializations. One is technology, one is management. The technology one is run by the AME department. The management one is run by the IC department. So there's two required courses in that. One is basically on innovation, and the other one is on design. Design is a very big part of this degree. And as you can see, there's a rapid product development specialization. It's not a requirement, but it's one of the management specialization required courses. So basically, there's 4 courses listed there, and 2 of them, you only have to take 2 of them. But the one that's really popular is this new course, 588, the management of rapid product development. And that seems to be the reasons, because here also students are interested in product management. Again, you have then taken 8 extra units in a pick list of management specialization courses. Next one. So, as I said, most of our students are full-time. They take 2 or 3 classes per semester, and it takes about 1 or 2 years to complete as a full-time student. You could actually theoretically complete, most of them actually prefer the 2 years because they like to take 2, 2, and 1, and use either the summer or the last semester to do an internship with the program. So that's why most students end up taking. It's not because they need the 2 years; it's a choice. Theoretically, you could take it in 1 year. That would, push it. But you could definitely, some students do take it 1, but you could easily finish it in a year and a half. but most of them extended 2 years because they want to experience the internship experience. We also have a den space. One thing I should mention, the naming of the department is also very important. Not only allows us to, for the resources for the students, allows us to continue hiring faculty. We're actually hiring more faculty this year. And just as important is we're moving into a completely remodeled facility. When the computer science moved to their building, we are moving to the old computer science building. But the nice thing about it is there are financial resources. We're completely remodeling it. The first floor is going to be a completely student-centered. Basically, the whole first floor is basically made of student-centered meeting places, meeting rooms, lounges, and actually some of the courses will be held into the first floor. So it's going to be a very nice facility for the students. That's set up for December 26th. So starting January 27, we'll be fully moved and functional in this new facility, if all goes well. Where are alumni working? If you go to the next slide, you'll see a number of industries that they go to. They basically, consulting is a big part. So you'll see EY, KPMG, PwC. So the consulting companies definitely recruit our students. Technology companies recruit our students. Meta, Uber, Amazon, and manufacturing firms recruit our students. Boeing, SpaceX, Mattel, they work in the manufacturing department there, but they also work in a lot of these companies in the supply chain and also product forecasting areas. And of course, logistics, UPS, and then you can also think of Amazon as a logistics company. And they also work in the entertainment fields. Disney, Universal. We have also people working in Amazon Studios. So it's a very diverse, we have a diverse offering of degrees, and our students work in all sorts of industries. Of course, I forgot about Apple and Microsoft. We have students there too. So I believe this concludes my portion, correct?
Yes, thank you so much. That was very informative, and I'm so excited about the new and improved building. That's very exciting. I want to invite our attendees, if you have any questions for Professor Dasuki, this is a great time to enter them in the Q&A. So we'll keep that open. Please feel free to jot down any questions. But I guess one question that tends to come up, and I know it was submitted when students are registering, is I know you shared some of the research centers available. What are ways that master's students might be able to be part of those opportunities?
Yeah, I would say so. Most of the funding for the master's students comes from the endowment and some people, and we have gifts specifically set up for students. The best way for students to get involved in research is get a faculty sponsor. Meet a faculty member in a classroom, tell them you're interested in a research project. Then they'll work with you on writing a one-page proposal, send it. So we have these call for proposals. That's the easiest way, is we have this call for proposals in the fall and spring, work with a faculty member and submit it, and you'll get funded. It's a competitive process, but we do fund it. It's a good number. And the other way, of course, is faculty have their own research fundings through these centers, right? And just meet the faculty and ask them if they want to support you in their research project. So there's that way, that's coming from their own resources, but the department also has resources to support master's students.
Fabulous, thank you. I see a question from Omar on the health systems program and its association with Keck. How often do ISE students engage with projects that interface directly with Keck clinical operations?
The 509 project. There you go. That project has a lot of Keck. I mean, not every project is a Keck project, but there's a lot of Keck projects. And if you desire a Keck project, they'll probably find you one. And we're actually working to try to get closer relationships with them in terms of in fact, it's a joint degree. One of the courses which required is taught by Keck faculty.
Perfect, thank you. A question from Micah. I don't know, David, if you're the right fit for this one. Do we as admitted students have access to course syllabi? It would be helpful to plan and prioritize courses.
I can just quickly answer that.
Yeah,
they're on the registration page. When the faculty are supposed to put the syllabi on the registration page. So when you register, when you look at the scheduled classes, they're on the scheduled classes.
Yes, I think it's usc.edu/SOC or right, something that's
No, it's
classes. There it is.
classes.usc.edu.
That's the better one. Yes.
Classes.usc.
Yes. Does MSOR provide a pathway to the ISC PhD program?
That's the best one for the PhD program.
Great.
Because as I said, our PhD program is, as I said, it's much more, it's the least broad. The undergrad and masters are very broad. We have broad covering. Our PhD program is much more centered towards the qualitative area. And since the OR degree is the most qualitative, it's the one that's going to prepare you best.
That's
Doesn't mean
perfect.
that others.
Sorry, I just want to add on to that I know sometimes some programs have more formalized pathways where the students, if they perform a certain way and the masters have a, admission to the PhD, you would still need to apply for the PhD program. But by being a master's student in this program, as Professor Dasuki said, you're getting incredible preparation for it. You're starting to build relationships with faculty and get research experience. So it probably positions you better, but technically you still have to apply. What does the transition or pipeline from an MS to PhD look like?
So it's basically you work on your master's, do well on it, and then your last semester. So basically, in the last year of your master's, you'll apply to your PhD program. And as I said, your application will look stronger if were able to connect during your master's with the faculty member and done some research project with them. So I would say almost all our under masters who go to our PhD, they come either from the OR degree, majority of them come from the OR degree, but there are some that come from the analytics. And they use the best, if you're looking for the word pipeline, the best way for that pipeline is to connect with the faculty member, do a research project with them. They become your advocate for your PhD program admission.
Thank you. For online students, how many hours should we expect to spend on a class outside of lectures?
The same as in person. It's just there's a general rule of thumb that for every hour in class, 2 hours outside.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Professor Dasuki, for your time. This is actually a very relevant question that I'm going to keep you on here for.
Okay.
How is the current situation for recent graduates' employment, specifically engineering management program? If you can just speak broadly, if whether you're seeing any changes in industry or generally students are still, successful in securing jobs.
I think they're still getting jobs, but it takes more work. It just takes more effort. You just got to really work at it much more. Before it would just drop in your lap.
Thank you. Yeah, and just a reminder, Paolo, if you go onto the Engineering Management Masters page on the Viterbi grad admission website and click career outcomes, you'll see that specific data for the most recent class.
And things are very cyclical, right? So 2 years ago, it was like gold rush. It was a gold rush. I've never seen it like that before. I mean, the opportunities were, So now it's a little bit tighter, but it's not. It doesn't mean that people aren't getting jobs. I mean, all my PhD students have got jobs. So I could, and they have multiple offers. But it's not. You're asking about engineering management. There's engineering students getting jobs, right? It just takes have to work harder.
Thank you. Any last piece of advice from you for students who are just getting started in the master's program, just to ensure they're successful?
I would say just become prepared and get connected. You'll be successful. The more you give, the more you receive. It's the old adage, right?
Very good advice. Yes, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much. Students, don't sign off yet because we do want to introduce you to David, as well as our current students who will provide you more information and answers to your questions. So, David, feel free to take over at this point.
Thank you, Jessica and Dr. Dasuki. So I am going to introduce our student panel. Two of our outstanding students in our programs, Deepthi and Aaron. So let's just dive right into it. Deepthi and Aaron, can you just provide us a little bit of your background in terms of where you came from, what major are you, why you ended up choosing USC over other schools.
Sure, David. Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you. Congratulations for joining. For getting the admits for USC. Uh, USC has been a dream college for so many of us, and I feel that you should be proud for standing here right now. So where I come from is India. Before coming to USC, I was working at HPE Hewlett Packard Enterprise for 3.5 years as a software engineer. I wanted to get into management side of it and then know more about the product oriented cases. So that brought me to USC. So why I chose USC is the first thing is weather. I love the weather in LA. It's always sunny, and if you have that energy in LA, so that was really important. And then uh, there's also something called as graduate student opportunities, which where you can get some courses from Marshall as well. So you'll be getting some certificates, graduate certificates from Marshall, which is a business school here at USC. That was also one of the main reasons why I chose to come to USC. Plus the alumni network, I can't speak enough of it. I've formed a lot of my personal network with alumni of USC, and they've been very supportive and they're responsive if you need anything from them. Uh, so, so that's it. Yeah, over to you, Aaron.
Yes, thank you, Deepthi. My name is Aaron. As mentioned, I am originally from Lafayette, Indiana, so I'm from the Midwest. I also did my undergraduate degree in the state of Indiana, so that was one of the main reasons why I chose USC, was mainly just because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. So someone that kind of went to college and stayed around my family. I just wanted to push myself and get out of my comfort zone, and moving across the country to a big city really made me do that. So as someone who never thought they'd move to a big city, it's definitely been getting something I had to get used to. Uh, but it was definitely well worth it. I've really enjoyed it here. I can't say much. Uh, I can only say good things about LA, really, and USC in general. And one thing I'll add as well is just like I found it very fruitful with like being able to balance my academics while also enjoying what LA has to offer, as well as the networking. That's something that I had in mind, but didn't really see it when I was applying. But once I got into USC, there's like so many people with different backgrounds and passions that uh, just made it a lot more fruitful experience. Like there's really people from everywhere. I mean, I'm talking internationally, other states, domestic. Like it's been a great experience so far overall.
Great. So academically, how are your classes like? What is the demand of the coursework? How much time do you spend on classwork?
The classes are very discussion heavy, and they mostly go around with the studies based on cases. And I can say that the classes are never, the courses were never passive learning. So the participation really mattered in the classes. Uh, the preparation that you do before the class with respect to what are the case discussions that you're going to have in the class, it was very important. And also, I made it a point that I would always sit in the front row of the class, and that really kept me engaging and kept me active in the classes, and it made a huge difference.
Yeah, for me, I would agree with Dr. Dasuki where he mentioned for like every hour of credit hours, like I would dedicate 2 hours of time outside of class to do my work. As someone who took engineering management classes, who I was a previous engineering management graduate student before switching to analytics, just because I had passions for data. But before the move, I found myself doing something classes very similar to Deepthi. But then when I switched, it definitely got a little more intense in terms of the technical aspect, and it definitely is doable. I think for someone that had no experience with, I shouldn't say no experience, but minimal experience with Python and coding and was interested in the data aspect of it, it's been very manageable, and the classes have been a great way to uh, expand my learning without having to worry about getting bad grades. Like it's been very manageable and the classes are at a very good pace. So I would say overall it's the academic rigor is very fair. And I've been able to learn without like having to have like an attack on like my grades.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing the transfer story, Aaron.
Yeah.
Campus involvement. So tell us a little bit about the organizations that you're in, uh, how you contribute to the campus life, and how do you balance the work-life balance?
Okay, I'll go for this. So I have been part of Engineering Management Student Association since the beginning. Then I started off as an ambassador in my first semester and then moved into director of events in my second, and now I'm the president for the second year of my master's. It's been a great journey for me. I made a lot of friends from this organization, and IMSA was mainly about getting to know each other in the engineering management cohort, and then we held a lot of events which had a lot of panel discussions. We brought in people from Google and other big companies, wherein students get an opportunity to talk to them. We also conducted a lot of resume review sessions, and we also collaborated with Marshall, having case competitions, and then we also help students in preparing for the interviews, the product design interviews. We had a lot of mock interviews. So that's how it went. And we also have Social Mixer that is coming up. That's a very interesting event for the SEM, where we bring in all the professors and alumni, and the students get together, chat a little, have dinner, play some games, trivia nights, and things like that.
I'm the current grad rep for the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. So that was a club that I was a part of in undergrad. It's kind of similar to like SWE. I don't know if some people have heard of that. So I just kind of organize social events for the grad students because a lot of them either live off campus, are in Den, but occasionally we'll have the chance to meet in person, or for people that are on campus to just kind of come together because there is a big graduate population at USC, specifically Viterbi, and we don't always get the chance to meet up. So it's been kind of great to get along and get together. Apart from that, I did join a dancing club my first year and a half. This semester, I had to take a step back due to my classes and the workload. But my first year and a half, I was in a dance class, and it was pretty fun, or dance club, excuse me. And it was just a great way to blow off some steam after being in class all day. Other than that, I just passively go to events like VGSA, which is a Viterbi Graduate Student Association. They always have study events or are bringing people in. So I like to go and get some free food and just kind of network with my peers.
Yeah, that happens a lot. We get a lot of free food in most of the events. I was also part of the dance club, Polyfusion. I was vice president there last semester. And you can imagine I had to run two clubs, and then there is studies, and then there is job search, and then coffee chats and whatnot. But it was definitely fun. I know it was a bit pressurizing and it stretched me a lot, but uh, these are the things that helped me to become more confident or to learn a lot of things. So you're not just getting a degree, you're getting a lot more things, or even a new you after you graduate from USC.
Yeah, thank you, Dipti and Aaron, for sharing many extracurriculars on campus for you. And I'm glad to see that they took advantage of them during their time here. Let's talk about the campus, neighborhood, housing. First, you both are not from the LA area, so share about your experience in LA at USC. Um, do you feel it's safe around campus, on campus, and how did you find housing?
We had an in-person gathering in my hometown. That was really helpful for getting me connected with other peers who are going to join USC. So I found a couple of friends who, we thought that we could get along, and then we started finding housing near the USC. There are a lot of housing. There are a lot of websites where you can find different houses. So that wasn't a problem. Um, Also, regarding the safety, I would say we have something called as DPS zone, which is like uh, 2 mile of radius from the university where there are people standing with the yellow jacket, looking for students' safety. So there was no problem here around the USC. There's also lift facilities that are given to students. This is from post 7 p.m. to 2 a.m., which students can use this cab facility to travel around the DPS zone near the campus, where you get grocery shopping like Trader Joe's, Target, and Ralph's, and whatnot. You can also have your late night study sessions with your friends at Levy Library or Doheny or any other places, and then come back safely to your home.
Yeah, I definitely take advantage of the free lift after 7. I'll say in terms of safety, I feel pretty safe. I say that as a guy, but most of the time I just walk home, even if it's kind of late. I've never had any issues. Occasionally there's the strange characters, but I mean it's LA, it's a big city, so you're bound to run into somebody. It seems like petty theft is a thing, but again, with any big city, I feel like it's something that happens. Just kind of stay aware of your surroundings, and keep your things close. So it's just one of those things that kind of go on in a big city. It's not something you can kind of unfortunately get rid of at times, but I've always felt pretty safe. In terms of housing, I was pretty fortunate that my sister previously attended USC, and I was able to get in contact with some people she already knew, and that's how I found housing. I do know in the meantime I was looking into apartments.com. I know a lot of people that live in Lorenzo apartments and also Moo Housing. I can probably throw those in the chat, but it seems like those are the most popular for students here if they don't live on campus. Or excuse me, like student housing. They're near campus, but not officially USC.
I have a quick follow-up for you, but touching back on the safety commentary, um, just, much like any other city, don't walk alone at night. Walk with a friend. It's just like any other city. Try to be as safe as possible. But again, quick follow-up. Having been in LA, what were your favorite things to do outside of campus?
My favorite, yeah, right. So my favorite thing uh, is to go to Santa Monica Beach at night, and there's a swing by the the Pacific Ocean. I don't know what exactly the place is, but that's my favorite thing to do. I would go sit on the swing and then, play around for a while and then come back. And there are a lot of other places to visit around LA. Um, there's also the Griffith, where I have a point where I would sit for the sunset, and you get a sunset, you get a Hollywood Signs view, and also the Griffith. Uh, so it's great.
Yeah. I also enjoy going to the beach. I think that's definitely something that I always try and take advantage of. As a certified foodie, I like trying new foods. I feel like LA has a plethora of different foods. You're bound to find every single cuisine. I promise you that. And I also take advantage. I have a car here on campus, but there is a lot of traffic, especially during traffic hours. So I try to take advantage of the metro. As a USC student, you can take advantage of a USC pass. You just have to go to the Department of Traffic something. I'd have to double check what the name is, but you can get a USC Metro pass. And I take advantage of going to downtown. It's like a sub 20-minute ride to downtown, and there's like the crypto arena, and there's just like a ton of restaurants and things to take advantage of. But that's some of my favorite things to do in LA when I have downtime.
Great. And then one last question, because I know we're bumping against the hour. Uh, Last bit of sage advice for our new students. Knowing what you know now, what kind of advice would you provide to them?
Uh, okay, so there are few things that I would wish before coming to USC. So the first one is don't wait till you feel ready. Probably you would never feel ready, but what I feel is that the confidence is built through actions and not just by planning. And the second thing would be have a balance between the grades and the growth. Don't just focus on the academics, your growth, your personal growth, and your campus activities. Everything is very important for your personality, right? And the third one is, I would say, whatever you do, what are the achievements that you do, please document them, because you never know. You may feel at that moment the achievement that you had was very small, but further down the line, you would look back and you won't remember. So please document all the things that you're doing.
Yeah, I agree with Deepthi. I don't think I could have articulated that better. Other than that, I would say just take advantage of the resources USC provides, the network, really anything. And there's a lot of things going on. If you do end up coming to USC and you download Engage SC, there's always events that they post on there. And it's the best way to stay involved within campus. So that's the one thing I could recommend if you're coming. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dipti and Aaron. Great job. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Jessica.
David, I'm not letting you get off the hook here. I think you should give some words of advice too.
Honestly, I think the students did a great job. I know Deepthi and Aaron on on an advisor student level, but I think they've also shared some personal stories with me. And I personally kind of handpicked them to be in this panel because I know they've also been through a lot in their time here. So I honestly, they provided as much sage wisdom as I could ever provide. So, but if any students have any questions, you're also more than welcome to reach out to me. I'll drop my email in the chat, and we could always schedule a meeting.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for your time and your perspectives. And thank you to the students who joined us today for hearing us out. As David mentioned, we're here to support you, so you're welcome to contact us. We do have our student ambassadors, including Aaron, on our Unibuddy platform on our website. Hopefully, we'll see you somewhere near you soon at one of our admitted student receptions or campus events. But thank you again. We will be sending this recording to everybody in the coming days, and we wish you all the best. Fight on. Hope to see you this fall. Thank you.